An improbable run to the Super Bowl caps a season for the ages. Now, the Bengals hoping to take fans on another magical ride.
We're going back to the Super Bowl. We're definitely going back. The Rams barely got us on that one. We're going back.
Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, and Money Mac leading the charge. But off the field,
if you see me around or anything, you can just kind of refer to me as Evan.
Learning about the man behind the booming kicks on this episode of Let's Talk Cincy. From WLWT, this is Let's Talk Cincy, presented by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put our financial strength behind you.
It is a new season for the defending AFC champs, the Cincinnati Bengals. The team's Super Bowl run electrified our area and set high expectations for this year. Hello, everyone. I'm Curtis Fuller, and welcome to Let's Talk Cincy. Today, you'll hear from kicker Evan McPherson. He'll talk about his tight-knit family, and he'll also share some of his Cincinnati favorites. Plus, behind the scenes of Bengals game day, meet the team that pumps up fans inside Paycor Stadium. And on the sidelines, they are the second home team, the off-the-field careers of the Bengals cheerleaders. But first, the team won 10 out of 17 games to capture the AFC North last season. Then the playoffs ended with just seconds left on the clock in Super Bowl 56. The Bengals failed to convert a 4th and 1, and the Rams won that game, as you know, 23-20. But despite the loss, hundreds of fans greeted players when they returned from Los Angeles. WLWT Sports Director George Vogel joins us now. Let's talk about the high expectations this season.
Now, will they get back to the Super Bowl? That takes a couple of things. No injuries, a lot of luck. The Bengals definitely had no injuries last year until they got in the playoffs. They lost a defensive lineman, but not like the year before where they lost darn near everybody, including Joe Burrow. Last year, a lot of things broke right for them. And I say luck, maybe not a lot of luck if you're as good as what the Bengals looked to be last year, but you have to avoid that big injury bug. They were able to do it last year. Can you do it again? That's a tough thing to do in the NFL.
You know, I know folks around here don't like to talk about the Steelers, but what we saw in Roethlisberger, an 18-year career, a no-losing season, I think Bengals fans would love if Burrow produces that for Cincinnati.
Absolutely. I mean, the record Big Ben had in Pittsburgh was unreal, and his record, as unreal as it was there in Ohio, was even better playing the Bengals and the Browns, and his collegiate record in Ohio was outstanding, and the durability to play 18 years at that position. And the Bengals are going to have to do one thing a lot better, and that is protect Joe Burrow. 70 sacks last season. They can't let that happen again this year, because the more you expose him to getting hit, the greater the chance is that he's not going to get back up and play for you. You've got to keep him upright. You have to keep him clean. That's why the Bengals went out and got these 3 new offensive linemen in free agency. Karras, Kappa, La'el Collins, those 3 are expected to really improve that offensive line. They're starting a rookie at left guard that they drafted this year. They have high hopes for him. You would like it better if one of those veterans would have stepped up and grabbed that role, but they really like this kid. So they are banking on that, making them better than they were last year in that area of protecting Joe Burrow. And let's face it, ever since that catastrophic knee injury the season before in Washington, everyone has known that's a glaring need. The Bengals have always had really good fan support. You go back to the 70s and the 80s, they had really good fan support. The 90s was the decade, the lost decade, we refer to it, where, you have some 3-13 seasons and people were staying away. Then it got down to like 2-14 and people really stayed away. Marvin came in and got them to the playoffs, didn't win any playoff games, but at least restored some respectability. But still, there was a generation that had not seen the Bengals win a playoff game. And when that happened last year, and, they got the momentum going in December, then they had that nice comeback win against the Chiefs here in Cincinnati early January, and that's when people started saying, something's going on here in Cincinnati.
Can they make it back?
This team could make a run, right.
Can they make it back to the playoffs?
Can they make it back? Oh, yeah. The Bengals this year, absolutely they can. In fact, They're my favorite to win the division. I know a lot of the national guys say Baltimore. I think the Bengals are the team to beat. I think you see what they did last year going to the Super Bowl. If you're the king, you know, we used to say this in boxing, if you want to beat the champ, you got to knock the champ out, not just win on points and all this. You got to knock him out, and someone's got to knock the Bengals out. Maybe the Ravens do. I think the Bengals win this division, and we'll be back in the playoffs. And once they get there, anything can happen, as we saw last year. And when you have a kicker like Evan McPherson, a lot of good things can happen in those close games.
All right, thanks a lot, George. Well, the Bengals have a tough road to make it back to the Super Bowl. They not only have to battle AFC North teams, but also some other tough matchups, including the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Buccaneers, and the Bills. Up next.
I love the Cincinnati Bengals. I love my city. I love my team. I mean, win or lose, we're going to be there.
His tailgates are legendary. When Let's Talk Cincy returns, Bengal Jim on why fans are so loyal to the team.
This could be one of the best Bengals teams in history, and we kind of talked about it last year. It's really looking like it.
What it is now compared to what it was before Joe Burrow got here is night and day. This is unbelievable. We've seen all these people here, Bengals fans, how excited everybody is. It's awesome.
It is awesome, huh? Welcome back. You can still call it the Jungle, but the home of the Bengals officially has a new name now, Paycor Stadium. The former Paul Brown Stadium opened at the Banks in the year 2000 and was named after the team's founder, former coach and owner. The legendary coach's son and current team owner, Mike Brown, says the decision to change the name was not easy.
It makes our team a better team, a stronger team over time. And my father would have recognized that. For him, the team was always first. And this puts our team, the Bengals, first.
And by the way, the company Paycor is located in Cincinnati and provides human resources services to businesses. Whether it's Paul Brown or Paycor Stadium, one person who is sure to be at every game is Jim Foster, better known as Bengal Jim. His love for the team is second to none.
When you have a season like last year, when, to be honest, it was a little unexpected. We knew they were going to be good. We had the quarterback we need. But now in the offseason here, they have addressed some significant needs. They've improved on top of a team that went to the Super Bowl, was a minute and a half away from winning that Super Bowl. This team's really close, Curtis. If you remember the old Super Bowl days, the 81, 88 seasons, even 05 when they were good, the teams were really close, not just on the field. After the games were over with, on the weekends, they hung out, did a lot of stuff with them and their families. That's exactly what this team is. They love each other. They hang out with each other. They work hard. And that's a big piece that people don't measure, is the camaraderie, them working together and also hanging out after the games are over with. These guys are pretty close.
Let's talk a little bit about you, because, and I know everyone asks this, you know, where did this enthusiasm that you have for the Bengals, how did that start and how has it sustained itself?
I don't know. I never watched the Bengals. I was too young to watch them in the 70s, early 80s. The first game I ever watched was that 1981 opening day game. They got new uniforms at school. I remember the kids talking about it. I remember watching that first game. They were down 21-0 at halftime, and they bench Ken Anderson. Turk Schoenert comes in. They win that game. Very exciting fashion. Ken Anderson goes on to win and have an MVP year that year. Very exciting team to watch. I was hooked. I haven't missed a game since then. And now sustaining that passion, I'll be honest, I don't know, other than I love my city, I love my team, and those go hand in hand for me. During that decade of the 90s, there was a lot of people during that lost decade of the Bengals football that it was pretty rough for the fans, the players, everybody. And there was people that jumped off the wagon during the 90s. I still had fun through the 90s, but we knew going into games we didn't have a chance to win. So me getting through that decade of the 90s, and when Marvin came in early 2000, a fresh new energy and new culture there, you know, I'm glad the 90s was over with, but can't really answer that specifically how I've maintained this. I can just tell you, I love the Cincinnati Bengals. I love my city. I love my team. I mean, win or lose, we're going to be there.
I was working the night that the Bengals came back, and all the fans lined up as the buses rolled back in. It was an unbelievable.
Hey, Curtis, I'm serious. As you talk about that, I get goosebumps because for years, I have 4 boys. My oldest is 31, my youngest is 21. I'll never forget, you know, that Raiders game when we won that playoff game. None of my boys had ever seen the Raiders win a playoff game, or the Bengals win a playoff game. So we're in that stadium. Pratt gets that interception, and I for 10 minutes, me and my boys hugged for 10 minutes. It didn't say a word to each other. That was a special moment. It wasn't just me. The entire 65,000 people in that stadium were doing the same thing. They've never hugged so many strangers in their life, and tears. I mean, there was just amazing amount of tears in that stadium. You know, I've always told people that, because I'm an older guy, I remember the 81 and 88, there's nothing in this city, nothing, I don't care what people say, that brings this city together like the Bengals when they're playing well and on a run. People got to see it last year.
Coming up next after the break, we talk with Money Mac. We're talking family, fame, and football, of course.
Hey, Cincinnati.
Right after the break.
Who are you most excited about seeing this season?
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Mixon.
Burrow, he's the real deal.
My son here, he's a diehard Chase fan.
Joey franchise all the way.
He is known as Money Mac. Bengals kicker Evan McPherson. Cool as a cucumber, he makes those pressure field goals look easy. But what is he like away from the bright lights? Cherie Pilello sat down with Evan, who talked about his family and his Cincinnati favorites.
Talk to me about life as a kid. What was it like growing up in the McPherson house in a tiny town? I mean, 14,000 people in Fort Payne, Alabama.
I was the middle brother. I had one older, one younger, and just growing up with them, we had a lot of fun just playing sports. It didn't matter what it was. We were always out in the yard just playing around.
Clearly it's in the family. Are you guys competitive at all?
Oh, we definitely are, and we grew up that way. Like I said, if it was football, soccer, basketball, baseball, whatever it was, we were always competing, and I mean, still to this day.
There's so much that comes with fame, and especially the kind of year you had. But here you married your high school sweetheart. Can you share any of that?
Yeah, no, I definitely can. And you know, our story, I guess, is pretty cool. Me and her older brother graduated together, kind of grew up playing sports together. So I always knew, I guess, of the family, and we never really started dating until it was my 9th grade year.
If you're not out here practicing, who's Evan outside of football? We know you're married. You've got a couple of dogs. What would we find you doing on a weekend outside of football?
Well, you know, with being a new dog parent, we're experiencing the whole dog park thing right now. They don't really do much. They play for about 30 minutes and then they're out for like 2 hours. But if I'm not taking care of the dogs or hanging out with my wife, probably just playing golf. I love to golf. It's just kind of like a mental relief and just mental break from football and just kind of everyday life.
Favorite Cincinnati thing to do?
The Labor Day fireworks. I love to watch those. But if I was going to say something like a Cincinnati thing, is either go to Grader's or there's a coffee shop, Coffee Emporium, that we go to all the time.
Do you like Cincinnati chili yet?
I haven't really tried it.
Not even a Coney?
I tried a Coney. So those remind me a lot of Crystals, which that might get me in trouble.
A big kicker before you, Jim Breach. We've interviewed him so many times. And Anthony Munoz, of course, guys from outside of Cincinnati, and they made Cincinnati home. We sure would love if you'd make Cincinnati home.
Well, I mean, I'd love to be here for a while, and you know, that's certainly my plan. But you know, we'll just have to wait and see. Got a couple more years, but you know, I'd definitely love to stay in Cincinnati for a while.
I think a lot of people would like to see him stay here a while. Hey, you know, watching Evan and the rest of the team in action down at the stadium, it is easy to understand why football is more than just a game. It is a fan experience that begins long before you step foot into the jungle.
Whenever anyone
anyone asks me what my job is, on any Sunday, I get to throw a party for 65,000 fans and to create that ultimate home field advantage for our players to just thrive off of.
Welcome to the jungle. It's game day.
We really like to excite fans and get them, to be a part of the game.
60 people with game day production help create the excitement and the hype.
Our playbook is to entertain the fans, make some money with our partnerships, but then also really give an advantage to the team. That's what we normally want to do. Being here at Paycor Stadium is so much different than watching a game from home. We get to create content on the biggest boards in town. It is organized chaos in here where we have everything scripted out of what needs to happen in game with all of our activations and hype videos and interstitials, prompts to get the fans pumped up and ready to go. I don't know, we came in here at the beginning of the 2021 season to really try and bring in some new life and energy to game day here at Paycor Stadium. And I think we did that last year, and we're taking the next step this year, and it's even going to be more exciting.
We started game prep back in May. Once the schedule's released, we're like, all right, we can start booking our anthems, our color guards, our ruler of the jungle. Our pregame timing is super specific because we have to, because there's certain rules of the visitor has to enter at 11 minutes on the pregame clock. We have to nail our anthem time because we want our flyover to finish right at that last note.
And it's all about the music.
When it comes to player music, we like to go a little bit hip hop for that. When it comes to say like Jamar Chase, I like to always play to some New Orleans roots, like I like to go back into like the Master P, and then with Joe Burrow, anything Kid Cudi, Growing up in Cincinnati, I always knew this team deserved that kind of energy, that kind of excitement, and being able to play that role in my hometown for my hometown team is just a super great blessing to me.
Accomplished on and off the field. An inspiring conversation with members of the Bengals cheerleading team when Let's Talk Cincy returns.
Hi, I'm Garland Jones. This is Cincinnati's friendly neighborhood Superman Sammy. Sammy has endured 5 open heart surgeries, including a heart transplant in April, and he's doing fantastic. He's in preschool. He's going to go here in just a minute. We're looking forward to the Bengals NFL football season. We're excited to finally attend a game and take him to see the Bengals in person. So we are just thankful to God and the community of Cincinnati, especially for supporting and uplifting our Superman, our little superhero. Give him a hoot in. That was pretty animated, wasn't it?
That it was. Wow. Superman Sammy's dad, Garland Jones, says the support of Bengals players, coaches, and fans have meant everything to Sammy and the family. Well, a native Queen City Bengals player helped lift the spirits of local school kids. The Sam Hubbard Foundation donated enough backpacks and supplies for every single student over in the Bellevue School District. That's more than 600 backpacks. Kids were also treated to UDF ice cream and got to meet the Houday mascot while picking up backpacks. Those backpacks were stuffed with everything from notebooks and pencils to calculators and Play-Doh. Well, the Bengals are an amazing group of women who perform before thousands of fans, but their achievements don't end when the lights go out at Paycor Stadium. The inspiring lives they live off the field and the message they have for girls everywhere.
My name is Sydney. This is my second season with the Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm a pediatric nurse.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I am with the Cincinnati Bengals. I've been on the team for 5 seasons now, and I am a financial planning director.
Hi, my name is Delaney. I've been with the Bengals for 6 seasons, which is crazy. And outside of cheer, I'm a full-time digital marketer.
The fans are great, and it's just an awesome way to support the team, the community, and just be a part of the game day. And we put a lot of time and effort into it.
It's been an amazing year. You know, the crowd is always so hype. When I moved here, it was just amazing seeing the fans. They come in all dressed up. They have such amazing energy, whether we were losing or winning.
Every time I'm out there, I feel it's my first time ever. And seeing just a sea of people encourages us and the energy that we bring on the team, so it is so refreshing to see all the excitement, especially after the Super Bowl last year.
So being a cheerleader and being in the financial world, it's kind of polar opposite, you'd think, but there are so many similarities as well. It's very rewarding being on both sides, but it's nice to be able to come to practice and work really hard with the girls, and then also go and do my day job and work with clients and other financial advisors.
You know, being a Bengal has helped me a lot in the corporate world. It helps me from the standpoint of communication, right? Communicating with clients, giving presentations. Using that confidence that I feel here and incorporating it in my full-time job is something that has been extremely beneficial.
Being a cheerleader, we serve as role models for young women everywhere, showing them that if you're determined and you're driven and you're disciplined, you really can achieve anything. And being a pediatric nurse, it's kind of the same thing, where you go in and you have this energy that you have to bring to these children because they are going through this difficult time, showing them that they can be happy and have joy and have light and still just achieve great things in their lives.
Maybe in the past has been a stereotype for cheerleaders, and I think this team just demonstrates that we have a bunch of not only beautiful women, but intelligent and strong and hardworking women. So I hope that the fans and everybody else gets to see a side of the girls that I get to see every day.
For those who are watching the Bengals on the field, I want them to know that we are a group of really strong and powerful women. There's 30 of us, and we are very passionate about what we do on Sunday, and we're also very passionate about what we do Monday to Friday.
And now you know the rest of the story, huh? What an amazing group of women. Well, that does it for the program today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Curtis Fuller. We'll see you next time for another edition of Let's Talk Cincy.